1995, of course, when the first Australian Grand Prix was held here, won by Keke Rosberg. Of course, the Formula One Grand Prix ran until 1995, and the Adelaide, or the V8 Supercars initial Adelaide 500 was back in 1999 and ran through until 2020. We missed out last year, but it is back, bigger and better than ever. I believe we had a bit of an issue with the Bosch live stream recently, but I believe you can hear me and see the pictures once again. So we are just concluding the Shannon's Adelaide Rally Tour. So these guys weren't competing on times, they were just out there enjoying the 30 stages located around South Australia. Very shortly though, the guys that are competing for the outright honours, they'll be out. We'll see them fly around the shortened Adelaide Street Circuit. The stage totalling 2.43 kilometres. See people lining the fences from all the various different camera angles we have around the Parkland circuit. And if I'm not mistaken, I can hear cars once again out on the racetrack. Unmistakable sound of flat six Porsches coming around the hairpin and coming onto pit straight. This is a bit of a moment there for the tour leader. Only just got it through that first chicane. 3 is all locked up. How good does that sound? The GT3 Porsche roar down towards the centre chicane. Glorious sounds echoing around the Parkland circuit. This is what we've been waiting for. You can see the Adelaide high-rises in the distance beyond the centre chicane from the Bosch live stream coverage. As we see a Porsche 944 exit the hairpin and come down the pit straight, just showing once again the variety of Porsches, anything from a Cayman to a Porsche GT3, and yeah, even dating back to the 944. Here is the 944 now coming into the hairpin, the turn 3 hairpin. Of course, that's normally the kink, the left-handed kink as they enter Wakefield Street and down towards turn number 4. But just for today, we're closed Wakefield Road. They turn right. Head up Wakefield Road, turn right again and re-enter the Parkland circuit. The other streets have now been closed. Bartels Road and all the other roads around the Adelaide streets have been closed. The final preparations are taking place this week, curbs being installed, concrete barriers and fencing, of course, as well as grandstands. But yeah, we are nearing completion of the full 3.2 kilometre circuit. Rain beginning to increase on pit straight. That'll make things potentially very interesting when the competition cars come through in the very near future. As I say, 40 cars competing for the outright Adelaide Rally competition. There was a stage earlier at Mount Lofty. Many of you may have seen it on the live stream, or some of you even may have attended it. A great stage at Mount Lofty. A trophy going to the winner of that stage, a real prestigious stage to kick off the action on Sunday morning. So the trophy presentation will take place. I think it's 5:30 that will take place. Before then, though, of course, we do have to complete the stage and crown ourselves a winner. Can see the pit straight stand, all completed and full to the brim pretty much. How cool is that? As I say, if you do want a seat, you don't need to pay. Free grandstand entrance. So make sure you head up there, seats are being taken quickly. Hope you are enjoying the action. Adelaide Rally concluding for 2022, the 30th and final stage. Just awaiting the next tour to come through. Running slightly behind schedule at this point in time, but I promise you the Formula One cars are yet to come. They will be out. Craig Lowndes in the 1994 footwork, and there's also a LaRousse, I believe, that will hit the track. Two cars that raced here, of course, back in the era, back in the early 90s. had a bit of a moment down here on pit straight as the rain begins to pour down, unfortunately. Track conditions the most slipperyest they have been, and it's certainly affecting grip levels out there as we see the BMW Mini Tour head out on the track. So as the name suggests, these are simply BMWs and Minis. And yeah, one of the BMWs had a massive moment through one of the temporary chicanes. Crowd lit up with enjoyment over that one, as I can see many people beginning to put up umbrellas and hoods. That Mini driver there has made a bit of a mistake, deciding to take the roof down for this final stage. I'm sure they got a good soaking there as the rain lashed down on the Adelaide street circuit. I'm sure that roof will be going up imminently. There we can see the new BMW offerings with the grille, of course, the new distinct grille that aligns all modern BMWs. So good to see so many BMWs out on the racetrack, from M2s, M3s, M4, 5 and 6. And some smaller BMWs as well, such as the 135i. And everything in between, as I say, lots of variety out there on the track. We see the officials and marshals down there on the pit straight, as I say, 326 volunteer officials helping to make this event and the other 29 stages around Adelaide occur. Of course, since the last event here in Adelaide, there's been a major track resurfacing. The track looks magnificent, curbs repainted. There's been such a big effort going to make the event look as good as it possibly can next weekend. And that, of course, benefits the Adelaide Rally this weekend as well. The next tour is out on the circuit. It's actually still the BMW Tour, as I say, such a popular manufacturer, BMW. So many of them that they've had to be split into several different groups. As we see heading into the centre chicane now, a BMW 2002 from way back in the 60s, 1969. There is the BMW 2002 just coming onto the pit straight now in the pit lane. That car driven by Sean Basford and co-driver Julie. Both taken part in many tarmac rallies and rally events over the years. Good to see them here again this year. First time for them in the Adelaide Rally this year, but yeah, competed in many other rallies over the years. As we see several Hyundai N cars come around the final corner. So here we've got i20s, i30s. We've even got a Hyundai Kona N and a Hyundai Excel, you may see, with a Cool Drive sponsorship on the side. Don't these cars sound glorious? Oh yeah, I love these Hyundai hot hatchbacks. Of course, Hyundai have had lots of success in TCR. Overnight, once again winning the WTCR title. Mikel Azcona taking the 2022 title. Next year, the World Touring Car Greats will come to Australia, heading to Bathurst next year. Very much looking forward to that as part of the Bathurst International. But yeah, these Korean cars, Hyundais, weren't very popular back in the day when they first came out. But the N models have really turned them around in the eyes of motorsport fans. So many people love the Hyundai N products. And here they all come down the pit straight. The first one sort of looks a little bit like Hyundai's factory colours, the one at the front of the queue. Similar to that of what they run in WTCR and of course in the World Rally Championship. Thierry Neuville and Oitanek weren't able to beat Oliver Pera in the end in WRC this year. Toyota and the Gazoo Yaris taking the WRC title. Such variety in the hot hatch range at the moment, and that is showcased by TCR. Got anything from Honda Civics to these Hyundai N's we're seeing out on the track. Of course, Ford Focus, the RS, the ST. Several people, it appears, have come down from the stands after that rainstorm. It has cleared again for the moment, which is great news for everybody here watching. As I say, if you are here, stay tuned. These are the tours. The serious competitors will be coming through very shortly. They'll be fighting for the Adelaide Rally Honours. They're not too far away now. Beyond that, we have Formula One demonstrations, S5000 demonstrations. There's even a British touring car here. All that to come. Out on the track at the moment, we have the GH Garage Tour. A large variety of motor vehicles in this tour, from McLaren 720s to Alfa Romeo 4Cs, Audi S4s, and lots of different other cars. There's a Maserati out there as well from several years ago, and even a 1977 Porsche. So there's a lot of variety out on the track at the moment. There's a Ferrari F355 as well somewhere. I reckon I can hear that now. But yeah, so much variety. Looks like a couple of the cones have been knocked over on the pit straight. Of course, the competition cars won't be wanting to do that. They'll incur a penalty, a time penalty, if they knock over any cones when they come through. But for now, the tours, they're not competing against the clock. They're just out there having fun in the cars they own. There is the Maserati I was just talking about. Built in 2006, driven by Scott Dolling and co-driver Scott Elwish, both 52 years of age, no previous rally experience, and first time, of course, in the Adelaide Rally. As I say, such variety in this particular tour. How good is this shot from the top of the pit straight, looking down at the pit lane? Already the sponsors, BP Ultimate, getting their name on the tarmac. The grids, you may have noticed, if you're sitting on the pit straight, the grid markings for the start positions are yet to be painted, so that's got to be done over the next couple of days, just due to the weather not yet being done. Such insane weather conditions around South Australia over the last couple of weeks. Cars using the tunnels now to get underneath, heading down back behind the pit straight buildings and then down towards the centre chicane, and then they're heading under the tunnel, under the grandstand, and then under the tunnel. That way we can get the cars through thicker and faster. Great thinking from the volunteer officials, thinking on their feet. Look at the city of Adelaide. Brilliant shot from the drone cam. Of course, we're only about 5 minutes outside the CBD. It really is in the heart of Adelaide, this track. Here we go, the next tour is underway, as we can see from the magnificent drone shots. I can see a few Gazoo Yaris's down on the course. Of course, the Corolla coming later this year. Very much looking forward to that. Here is one of those Yaris's, followed by a Porsche 911. Look at that little Elfin. Very unique piece of kit, that one. As he files through the temporary chicanes. So yeah, that a 2006 Elfin MS8 steam. Very nice piece of kit. Yeah, MS8 Streamliner. Daniel Rogers at the wheel and Mark Rogers alongside of him. Both have several rally experiences in the past, but this their first time here in the Adelaide Rally. Great to have them on board this year. As we say, it's going to be bigger and better than ever in 2023 as the new Motorsport Australia regulations are introduced and will really benefit the Shannon's Adelaide Rally. We're really looking forward to the 2023 edition. Brilliant drone footage there, brought to us by the stream team. Here is that Elfin, just coming down the pit straight now. And those popular Gazoo Yaris's. As I say, they sealed, or Toyota, the factory Toyota Gazoo racing team, sealed the WRC title just a few weeks ago. There's Brody Kostecki, I can see on the right-hand side of the pit straight. He's going to be out in a Super 2 car in the not too distant future. Great to have Brody here supporting the Adelaide Rally. Got a Volvo S60 coming down the pit lane as well. Of course, made famous here at this corner, the final corner, where he re-overtook Jamie Whincup in 2014. Wasn't that a historic Adelaide moment? The crowd erupted, only for second position, but boy, did that launch the career of Scott McLaughlin. Of course, winning in IndyCar, winning several IndyCar races this year and finishing nicely in the championship. Of course, his Australian teammate, Will Power, taking the IndyCar title, his second. It really is good to see such representation over there from Australians and New Zealanders. Of course, Scott Dixon as well, had so much success over the years in IndyCar, a New Zealander. But yes, Scott McLaughlin, we'll be back next weekend. Scotty joining the Fox Sports team for the broadcast of the Adelaide 500. Be great to see him here. Of course, the most recent winner on the streets back in 2020, winning the Sunday race. As the cars continue to go under the grandstand and under the racetrack, it really showcases how well organised this circuit is from the drone cam. As I say, that's down towards turn number 1. The cars are going under the centre chicane grandstand, underneath the tunnel, underneath the racetrack, and parking up on the other side of the circuit towards East Terrace, that direction, where everybody here came into the circuit. Here we have the future of supercars. Of course, Holden, their final round in supercars in just a few days' time, but this is the future coming down the straight. The Chevrolet Camaro, we'll get used to seeing them on the track in 2023, debuting in Newcastle as part of the new Gen 3 supercars regulations. Lots of variety again in this class. Alpine A110 coming down the pit straight and through the chicane. As I say, so many of these cones have been knocked over now, but they will be fixed up when the competition cars come through in just a few minutes' time. Look at that historic Porsche just ahead of the Alpine. Can't find a much older Porsche than that. Of course, we've seen a lot of GT3 911 Porsches around the racetrack, but that's certainly the oldest we've seen so far. Look at that the Colour Science inspired livery, the Castrol livery. Brilliantly presented car coming down pit lane. Of course, the factory Toyota team ran those Castrol colours back in the late 90s very successfully when Toyota was up against Subaru and Mitsubishi. A really great era, and Peugeot as well, of course, back then. A really great era of rallying in the late 90s. Maserati Grand Sport as well coming down the lane. Again, a older Maserati, but certainly has held its own Looks nice on the racetrack, ahead of a Japanese skyline. So those cars and drivers will receive their medallion. So here we go, from the drone shot, this is what I'm talking about. They're coming off pit lane, going behind the corporate facilities pit lane exit, and then going under the grandstand at the centre chicane, under the tunnel, and appearing out the other side. Just shows how well this track was built back in the day, back in 1985, incredibly. Well before then, but that's when the first Australian Grand Prix was held. As I say, won by Keke Rosberg, his final Grand Prix victory. Of course, some historic moments have taken place over here over the years in Formula One and in supercars. Nigel Mansell's tyre explosion in 1986. David Coulthard hitting the wall in pit lane. That was the last Adelaide Grand Prix. He was leading by a comfortable margin and fenced it just there, just where the camera is. Hit the pit lane wall and wiped himself out of the race. Damon Hill won the last race by a staggering 2 laps. You don't see that anymore, do you? You don't see Max Verstappen taking victories by 2 laps. We moan about sometimes the dominance of a certain team, but it's been many, many years since we've seen a car win by a single lap, let alone 2. But yeah, Damon Hill in the 1995 Adelaide Grand Prix winning by 2 laps. As we see the cars stream down, oh look at that, Jaguar E-Type, lovely, lovely. As he streams around the first couple of turns and into the centre hairpin, I suppose we can nickname that for today. Look at that, an MGB GT as well. There it is, going through the screens. Lotus Elise, I think that is as well, heading into the 3rd turn. Hard to see from my position, but I believe that was. Mitsubishi Evo as well there. So many Evos out. We'll be seeing a few of those in a few moments' time when the competition class cars come around. It's a battle between Subaru and Mitsubishi Evo at the top and the pointy end of the field there. Really tight between 4th and 8th. Here's that Jaguar E-Type. Fantastic in red. Give them a wave. Brilliant to see them bring such an old iconic car to the streets of Adelaide. Certainly worth a lot of money. Very brave. You've got to be to drive a car worth that much money around these streets, that is for certain. Still concrete aligned, although we're not using the full circuit. The concrete barriers surrounding the circuit, of course, in this day and age, lots of tie barriers as well. Holden Tirana heading down the pit lane. Of course, Brocky and Jim Richards winning a couple of Bathurst in Tiranas. Of course, Brock winning many of his Bathurst victories in Tirana, from XU1 all the way through to the very end, yes, the A9X. Certainly getting through the tours now, and the event will really take off in a few moments when the competition cars come through. Brilliant drone footage showing us the back end of the circuit. The car coming down pit straight now, number 469, a former Carrera Cup car. That's why it sounds so loud as it blasts through. So yes, that is a former Carrera Cup car converted to a rally car in recent months. And doesn't it sound good? Lots of variety again in this group. GTHO Falcon I just saw pass through, as well as a modern Ford Mustang. Another old Porsche, in fact several elder machines streaming through and down into the centre chicane. Here comes the Cup car once again. How good does that sound? Absolutely fantastic. Through comes the GTHO down into the centre hairpin, followed quickly by a modern Ford Mustang, as I say. Again, that's showcasing how long Ford's been around and what they used to race in the Australian Tourer Car Championship and what they do now. I think that's a little Austin, is that coming down the pit straight? Hard to tell from the angle I'm looking at. I think that was a little Austin Healey. Great to see some old British machines out, as I say, the many MGB GTs and so many of these Prezas and Evos as well. Of course, from Japan. Sun now beaming on the Adelaide street circuit. Fantastic, glorious conditions this afternoon. A little rain shower just before, but that appears to have subsided. And now the sun beaming down, 31 degrees just a couple of days ago on Friday. But now, yeah, glorious conditions, just over 20 degrees in the heart of Adelaide. In terms of the Adelaide Rally, just looking ahead to the competition cars, it's a tight battle between Lovell and Selly coming into the final stage. The margin was out to 43 seconds at one day yesterday, That's been cut substantially, 22 seconds coming into the final stage. It's unlikely that Selly will overhaul the gap, but weirder things have happened in rallying, that is for certain. The gap to Alden Barker is just over 2 minutes in third position. Campbell has made his way back up to fourth. He started the day in fifth. But all these cars will be coming through in the not too distant future. 4 manufacturers in the top 4. Subaru, Mitsubishi, Porsche and BMW. Awesome to see. And a little Ford Escort with plucky Cox at the wheel. He's driving fantastically well. He's in 6th position. Fans continuing to enter the grandstand, as we can see from the Bosch Motorsport live stream. We are running slightly behind schedule, but stay with us. Formula One cars now not too far away. The tour's coming to a close. As we can see, many of the cars heading back to the paddock. There is the finish. All the cars parking up just out the back of the centre chicane. Great to see a lot of fans lining up, looking at the cars up close and personal. As I say, if you are here, you can do that yourself. Just head down behind the grandstand, head down towards turn number 1, and you will see all the vehicles that you have seen on the racetrack. That is one of the Marshall cars. So that may mean that we've concluded the tours. I haven't received official confirmation as yet. There's so many tours that come through. It is hard to keep track. Over 320 tour cars in total. Got to give everybody their fair share of track time. But it looks like they are very near the conclusion, if not concluded. So bear with us. The main category is about to be out on the racetrack for their 30th and final stage, where the Adelaide, or Shannon's Adelaide Rally winner will be crowned. Brilliant shot of the Adelaide CBD. Just shows it's one road straight down there, straight into the heart of Adelaide. Just literally a stone's throw away. Although I personally haven't tried to throw a stone from here towards Adelaide, I'll be honest. Here we are. This is first of the competition cars. That is Selly. He is sitting in position number 2. He's got 22 seconds to make up on the rally leader Lovell, who will be out in a short while. Selly's got it all to do, as I say. He's going to be putting his pedal to the metal, seeing what he can do in this final stage. A short one to finish, but it's not over just yet. So Selly has completed his run, brings it into the pit lane. A good little run there from Selly. So as I reiterate, these are now the competition cars. These are fighting for the Shannon's Adelaide Rally victory. These cars are going to be coming through even quicker than the supercars that we've seen so far. So just gone through was Selly. He, as I say, sits in second position coming into this stage, the final stage of the rally. We'll see what Lovell does and whether he can secure the honours. Here is Lovell, if I am not mistaken. It is indeed. So this is for the rally victory. He just has to be within 22 seconds of the time that Selly just produced to win the Adelaide Rally. As he heads onto Wakefield Street and up around the back of the course. As I say, 1.5 laps of the shortened Adelaide Street circuit. He's just going to appear back in the drone shot now as he heads around the back end of the Parkland section. Has he done enough to secure it? It looked pretty good down Pitt Straight, that is for sure. But we will have to wait and see. The presentation for that will be about half an hour, 15 minutes to half an hour after the conclusion of the competition. 40 cars in total will be coming through. So we've seen the top 2. We have 38 to go. First of our competition Porsche cars coming through. How good does that sound as it roars down towards the centre chicane? That was Ben Auld, who currently sits third position in the overall time. So he's trying to secure himself a third position, is Ben Auld, and his co-driver alongside of him, Lucy Barker. That was a 2010 997 spec machine that just came through. If you are down here on Pitt Straight, you can hear the car roaring as it comes back into the parklands, and Auld completes the course. Good time from him. As I say, I don't have timing in front of me, so we'll have to see until the presentations are done who has done what. It's not just the outright competition, there is also a class for older cars, and as I say, there's a trophy going to be given for the fastest around the Mount Lofty stage earlier this morning as well. So there's plenty on offer for a variety of vehicles, but currently we are looking at the real contenders, the outright competition class. Through goes Cox in the Ford Escort. Cox currently sits position 6 overall, but is leading the Classic Car Challenge at this point in time. He's got a little bit of a margin over Raymond in the Rover SD1, which we will see in a few moments' time. So here is Cox. If you're watching on the Bosch live stream, you can see him tearing down towards the final hairpin as he completes his final run. He completes the Adelaide Rally for 2022. So as I say, there are a variety of classes out there, potentially ready to capture and get their hands on a trophy. As I say, the King of the Mountain trophy presented to the Mount Lofty stage winner earlier this morning. Doesn't matter where you finish the rally, but there is a trophy on offer for the fastest person up the hill, up Green Hill Road and onto Mount Lofty Summit Road. I'm sure many of you know those windy, undulating roads well, if you are here and know your Adelaide suburbs well. There is also the Teams Award, 3 best crews. They'll also be given an award, Heritage Trophy. The under 2 litre class, top 3, 1, 2 and 3. There's also a trophy for the best interstate competitor, which I think is a great initiative taken. So we do have several Victorians and New South Wales people here this weekend competing. So there is a trophy on the line for them, the best interstate competitor, as well as the pre-1986 class. If you are just joining us here at the racetrack or on the Bosch Motorsport live stream, welcome. I'm Dan McCarthy. We are currently watching the final stage of the Shannon's Adelaide Rally for 2022. With several competitors in, there's 40 in total. "30 stages have been held. There was 11 on Friday, 11 yesterday, and the final 8 stages today. And we are seeing the conclusion right in front of our very eyes. Now this combination have been having fun all weekend. Even several shout outs to the parents in the old Toyota Corolla. They really are driving the wheels off that machine in number 726. Incredibly, in a field of 40, that 1991 Toyota Corolla sits 13th on the leaderboard, as I say, been driven out of its skin to this point. Brocklebank at the wheel of that Corolla that we can see head down the back of the Parkland circuit. As I say, they've been real characters this weekend. Really shows what this rally is all about. Don't have to be in the fastest machine to have fun, and they have certainly proved that. And as I say, they're doing very well, beating quite a few Subaru WRXs, Ford Focus RSs, and several Nissan Skylines in that 30-year-old Toyota Corolla. As we see the next car coming down pit straight, that's Koppelman. Koppelman in his Subaru WRX. He's slowly been making his way up the leaderboard. Earlier today, making up several positions. He now sits in the top 5 coming into this final stage. Unlikely to move up any further than that, but yeah, sits nicely in 5th. A great top 5 result in a new Subaru. The real battle at the moment coming into this last stage, you've seen Auld come through already in his Porsche 997. He sits in 3rd, but he is only 5 seconds clear of Campbell and Brown in their BMW E36. So that is the battle, the highest placed battle that will play out here on the streets of Adelaide. How good is it to be back? Sunny conditions. It wasn't like that just a few minutes ago, but it is now sunny. It is really good to be back here on the streets of Adelaide and to see some racing action, starting with the rally this week, of course. Next weekend, the Adelaide 500 returns. Yes, after a couple of years away, it will be back, and we will see the first supercar out there later on today. Brodie Kostecki will get behind the wheel of an Erebus Super 2 car, but for now it is the final stage of the Adelaide Rally. It's a closely fought battle for 7th position as well between Man and Badcock and his co-driver Mincham. That is a traditional Subaru versus Mitsubishi battle. As I say, it's almost turning back the clock to WRC in the late 90s and early noughties. Subaru Preza and Mitsubishi Evo Lancer fighting it out in rally stages as they did for so many years. As we see the latest car enter the pit lane. And somebody behind me is having a whale of a time revving their machine as they come into the pits. Here we are, the next car is out on the racetrack. One of my favourite presented cars here this weekend. It looks really nice, this Mitsubishi Evo. The livery on the side is fantastic, and that is number 715. Firing through. 715 of Beasley and Beasley. They sit 18th overall, but only 5 seconds behind 17th. Black Skins yet to come out in their BMW E30, but yeah, the margin just 5 seconds. There's still a lot to play for. Although we've had 29 stages already, the margins are very tight up and down the field. As I say, the battle for 3rd, only 5 seconds separating them. Trophies on offer for 3rd, but 4th place will miss out. We've seen Auld already come through, who currently sits 3rd. We're yet to see Campbell in the BMW E30. That's still to come. The Toyota Corolla you may have heard entering the paddock behind. As I say, the 1991 Corolla has been revving away, enjoying the weekend throughout. If you look behind the grandstand, you'll see some real entertainers in that Corolla. The Mini was set to go around the racetrack, but what's happening here? Driving along the fence line. That's an interesting strategy from 712. I think there's an issue. I think there's an issue with the Mini. It's driving down the grass on pit straight. So drama on the final stage of the rally for the 712 machine. Not sure if the Wallace Cunningham machine has a puncture or something. Not sure why else she would drive on the grass, but that is running terribly slowly. So yes, drama late on. Just appeared in the camera shot on the grass and never intended to get off it. So really not sure there, but good to see some pruning being done before the Adelaide 500 next weekend. Saves the volunteer officials and the team of supercars to do some lawn mowing ahead of the race next weekend. Obviously, with that slow Mini on the circuit coming around, there's a little bit of a further delay for the next car. The Mini is just heading down the Parkland section around the back at the moment, so just bear with us. As I say, clearly an issue with that Mini. We'll be back underway with the next car in a couple of seconds' time. That Wallace Cunningham car was sitting in position 27, sitting quite nicely coming into the final stage. But as I say, clearly drama's there. A real shame to end the rally like that, but at least they have made the finish line. As the crowd continue to watch the action on the pit straight. As we say, we're well now into the competition class cars. Formula One demonstrations not too far away. Certainly means a lot for people here to see cars back on these streets. We thought we lost the event not too long ago, but here it is, revived. Adelaide Street Circuit racing is back. 2022 post-COVID, and with the new government, and we've got to thank the Labour government for getting this event up and running and supporting the Adelaide Rally as well as the Adelaide 500 next weekend. Got to thank Shannon's as well for supporting and being the naming rights sponsor of the Adelaide Rally once again. They understand your passion for motoring. So up next, as I say, after these competition cars, we have a bit of a teaser for the Adelaide Motorsport Festival, which also returns in April of 2023. So there'll be Formula One cars, British touring car even, I believe, is here. Several supercars and hypercars, and Brodie Kostecki will be out in a Super 2 machine. We'll see some roll racing with those cars, drag racing with a difference, a rolling start. They'll be coming through thick and fast in the not too distant future. For the time being, we await the resumption of the final stage of the Adelaide Rally. Bosch live stream going out to viewers not only around the state, not only around the nation, but potentially around the world as well. So hello wherever you are. I hope you're enjoying what you are seeing on the racetrack. We will have some on-track action very shortly. just recovering the Mini from the circuit. As we say, the Wallace Cunningham car, clearly a mechanical issue as it crawled down pit straight on the grass. This is motor racing, happens to the very best, as we saw even Mercedes in Formula One, Lewis Hamilton having an issue in the final race of the season in the closing laps. Look at that, almost like a helicopter shot on the Bosch live stream. Doesn't that bring back memories? Certainly makes my hair stand up on end just looking at it. So this rally stage commences at the end of Wakefield Road. They head up the hill, enter the Parklands section turning hard right. They then go around the back section of the Parklands course, come around the hairpin, down the main straight with a few additional chicanes added in. And then they head down to the real traditional chicane, the centre chicane, turn hard right back onto Wakefield Street, turn right again back into the Parklands circuit. They complete the final left-hander, and just behind the pit straight buildings, the pit lane buildings I should say, is where the stage concludes just before they enter the pit lane. So it's around 1.5 laps of the shortened Adelaide street circuit, 2.43 kilometres in length this particular stage. They've been on the streets for the last 3 days. This is something quite different to end the rally around the little Parklands circuit. We've got a little bit more room for error than what they've been used to over the last few days. Fortunately though, very few incidents we've seen this year, which is what we like at the Shannon's Adelaide Rally. We don't like to see really nice machinery, lovely cars hitting guardrails and walls. So it's been really good to see a nice clean event this year. Of course, we have had a mechanical issue for the Mini out on the circuit, but hopefully we can get back underway in the very, very near future. Bear with us, the recovery team are hard at work over the backside of the circuit, recovering the 712 Wallace and Cunningham car before we get back underway. It's a little bit of a teaser of what is to come. We have a LaRousse Formula One car here. We have a Footworks Formula One car here. That very machine will be driven by Craig Lowndes in a few minutes' time. We have a Wolf a radical looking car, prototype machine. We've got Lamborghinis, we've got Ferraris, we've got Mazdas as well. We have a large variety of cars coming up as part of our demonstrations, but highlighted, I think, by the Formula One cars. Brody Kostecki in his Super 2 car. Todd Hazelwood will be out there in a McLaren 720S. As well as that, I believe there is a British touring car, super touring machine from the late 90s. That I am very much looking forward to see. Fingers crossed that does make it out onto the track very shortly. So the car that's just gone out on the circuit is just making sure the track is clear and ready to go. And when it does that lap, we should be recommencing the final stage of the Shannon's Adelaide Rally. So thank you very much for your patience, everybody, during that little pause in proceedings. We're not too far away from getting back underway. May be able to hear the Formula One car being warmed up on pit straight. And there goes the course car with its siren sounding, lights flashing. Welshman Herring at the wheel. Had a chat to him very briefly before one of the stages yesterday. Very much enjoys driving around these Adelaide streets. A lot different to the Welsh stages that he has become used to over his career. How good was that, ladies and gentlemen? That car will be on the circuit very, very shortly. But the drone of a Formula One engine echoes around the streets of Adelaide. What a good time to be here. How good is the next 7 days going to be? It's about this time that the final second of the 250-kilometre races will conclude and end the Adelaide 500. We've got all that to look forward to next week. But here we are concluding the Shannon's Adelaide Rally.
Same one that blue guy got.
Still playing soccer, or was that just the...
He's huge. He does gym like every single day. Have you ever seen him? said you're a pretty good arcade living.
yeah. Got one.
5.